Hi there, I'm Carol Motley with Bury Me Naturally, located in Asheville, North Carolina at 227 Haywood Road next to Short Street Cakes. I share the shop with Laurie Newman, who is Farm Girl. She sells fresh flowers, native plants, and local art. Today I'd like to do a quick little segment about your choices of your end of life. We have cremation, modern burial, and a woodland burial, also known as a green burial or a natural burial. My favorite. Now, cremation. Cremation is not my favorite. It is basically very polluting, and the carbon footprint is enormous. How is it polluting? Well, maybe one person isn't that polluting, but when you think of the compound number of people being cremated in one day from all the crematoriums in the area, that's a lot of soot. It's anytime you burn anything, there's soot. The stacks are low. The pollution goes right out into the air. The carbon footprint is enormous. The amount of oil and gas, which is mostly what furnaces are, to fuel that flame, are running 3 to 4 hours, 16 to 1800 degrees. It's a big footprint. You can drive about 4,000 miles on that, heat your house for over a week going full blast. So if you've been a self-professed greenie your whole life, where you've recycled and you've tried hard to buy local and go organic and walk everywhere you can and try to live a really green life, a cremation is not green. It's fast, it's inexpensive, and it's easy because there aren't a lot of choices that have to be made. But it's not really the greenest choice at all. It also doesn't leave you much. It leaves you with a big bag of dust. You have 5 pounds of dust, sterile calcium dust. And some people love that, some people don't. I sell urns. I think that a lot of people need to choose that because out of what they can afford, and that's just what they want to go up in flames, that's your prerogative. Having said that, like I said, I don't agree with a cremation. Modern burials. Modern burials are very expensive. You have to think about the vault or the grave liner. The difference in the two is a vault has a bottom and it has a top that goes on and seals the casket inside. Usually the casket is sealed, and a lot of times the person is embalmed, so the natural elements cannot get inside. Then there's the monument. Then there's the price of the chairs you have to rent, the umbrella, the fee at the funeral home to help you with the paperwork and all of the logistics. It gets pretty pricey, $8,000 to $10,000, no problem. The problem with this, there's a lot of steel and concrete now in a lot of cemeteries. A lot of embalming fluid, formaldehyde-based embalming fluid seeping into our groundwaters because of the increase of formaldehyde-based embalming fluid in people. Trees in a graveyard are usually enormous, quite green, real healthy because they love acid-based soil, which is what formaldehyde changes the pH to, more acid-based soil. Let's talk about a natural burial. A natural burial is usually in a wooded area. There are field-like environments, but most of the time it's a field-like, usually it is a wooded area. Between the trees, a hole is dug, hand dug usually, and laid in the grave is a biodegradable product with you inside. And that can be a shroud, that can be a cardboard box like what we sell here, which is beautiful, a pine box, a basket casket. It can actually be just a piece of material and you're wrapped up in it. You're placed in the grave site. A lot of times people take soil from their garden or from their compost pile and people put that in there. Flowers are thrown in there. Notes, messages, anything can be put in there. Sometimes the actual people at the funeral participate in the closing of the grave. They find this healing. Then they close the grave completely and put a very simple marker, a very simple stone marker with your name and date on it, maybe with a little dragonfly or a flower on it. The purpose of this is that you're going back into the world, as in the earth, as we came. I know we weren't born out of the earth, but we're fed from the earth. We live in the earth. We live on the earth. We have so much connection to it. That's what our feet are planted on, the earth. And when you go back into the earth like this, you're actually just contributing to the cycle that nature is so good at, which is the natural cycle of decomposition. Decay and decomposition are not beautiful words, but that's what the forest floor is. When you look at a huge boulder, over time that boulder is getting broken down and broken down and broken down and broken down and broken down until it is little pits of soil. And that's what's happening to you. You're being broken down and being contributing right back into the soil. That's what's so beautiful to me. On top of the grave sites here in Asheville, Laurie and I have developed a really wonderful plan where we have gardened your grave. Winterberry bushes, which have beautiful red berries on them for winter species to come, wildlife to come and flit around your grave. Moss, jack in the pulpit, sweet shrub. It goes on and on and on with all the native species we can garden the grave with. If you really want to, you could have a mariachi band. Cat Williams can come sing at your funeral. It's endless. You don't have to follow what you've been to at every funeral, where either the preacher has hijacked the funeral for Jesus or it's somber and glum. I'm not saying that we need to have a funeral where everybody's cheering and having a blast. That's not real. It's sad. It's profoundly sad. But there's no reason that we have to have it in the same skeletal feature that we've seen most burials be in. We need to open our eyes and open our hearts and open our minds to different ideas. And a natural burial is so beautiful, and it's the best way to go, in my opinion. I sell a lot of beautiful products. I hope that you visit my website, which is NC, like North Carolina, ncnaturalburial.com. View and peruse everything. Download the free form that pretty much outlines what you want at your funeral. There's no reason why you shouldn't go on and do that. After someone goes, those decisions are daunting. Absolutely daunting. And if you want your crazy sister-in-law to be in charge of your funeral, you're going to get what you get. All right, thank you very much for your time, and I appreciate you listening to my cheerleading for natural burial, and I hope it kind of cleared up some questions you might have. And please contact me if you have any questions. Thank you so much.